Well, you've made it to the last step in our project. This time, I'm going to show you how to take your project, which currently looks like this, and we're going to add a background. We are going to end up with a project that looks like this, with the background filled with all of those color wheel colored lines. Now, you only need one supply for this, a box of Sharpies. We have almost all 12 colors of the color wheel in this box of Sharpies, but not quite. So we're going to have to make do with what we have. So I'm going to show you which exact Sharpies that you need to use, and then I'm going to show you how to put it on the paper. To do this final step, you will need to grab a box of Sharpies. Like I said, we have almost all 12 colors, but not quite. So let's discuss the ones that you need to search for and use. Of course, you're going to start with red. We have red. And we do not have red-orange. So we are going to, for this project in the background, we're going to skip red-orange. We'll be using regular orange. And we do not have yellow-orange. So we will skip that one, and we'll use yellow. We do have a nice yellow-green. We'll use that marker for that. Of course, regular green. And when we get to blue-green, you actually have two choices that you can use. There is this one that looks exactly like blue-green, but if you get one that's dry, I don't have very many of those, and a lot of them are dry, you can also use this color. It's kind of a lighter blue. And then for blue, of course, we'll use blue. I do not have blue-violet, but I do have violet, and I do have red-violet. It's this color. It almost looks like a pink marker, but we know now, after everything we've learned, that it's actually red-violet. So those are the markers that you need to look for and get ready to use for your project. So as you can see, our plan for the background is we are just going to surround our bottle composition with lines of the color wheel colors. These lines that go right beside each other and copy the shape of what's next to it are called concentric lines. Our whole background is going to be filled with those concentric lines. So let's get started. First of all, big rule here, your lines need to be in color wheel order. So if you can't remember the color wheel order out to the top of your head, look at your color wheel or look at the big color wheel in the front of the room and always check what's next. So I'm going to start with red. Obviously, I like putting red at the top of my color wheel. And I am going to start over here on this side. I'm going to just draw around the shape of my bottles. Now, as you are drawing, you must always go slow. You have to stay in control of that line. Make sure that you are drawing very close to the object, but not touching. Now, for a spot like this, where you have parts of two bottles that are very close together and your marker won't fit through there, just go as far as you can. Leave the space inside empty, and then when you get finished with your concentric line, go back and fill in that space later. Keep watching, you'll see. Now that I'm done with my red line all the way around my bottles, I'm going to go back to that empty space that I left, and I'm just going to draw a concentric line around the outside of that entire little shape. When you have finished with your first color, then you will move to the next color, and you will add another line that copies right around the first line, even and smooth. Now remember, every line that you draw goes right beside the previous line. Very close together, but not touching. The only way this is going to work is if you go slow and remain in control of that line. Don't forget to go back to those empty spaces inside your bottles, if you have any, and add a new concentric line inside each time you switch to a new color. Now at this point, I have several concentric lines, and it's taken me to the very edge of the paper. When you get to a spot like this, you just go as far as you can, stop, skip over to where you feel the line needs to restart, and then just restart. The more and more lines you have in your background, the more places like this you will have. When you reach a point where you have so many concentric lines that they are going to be bumping into each other, then all you need to do is go as far as you can, pause, and turn, and continue going around your perimeter. Come back, fill in the space that it created, and then just keep going. Now, when you've gone through all of the colors in your pile of markers and you still have white space left over, you know what to do. Go back to the beginning and start those colors over again. And when that last tiny bit of your background is filled with a concentric line, then you are done. Congratulations on a job well done.